$20. For most people, it doesn't feel like much. It's a meal delivery, a few coffees, a random online purchase, something small enough to spend without thinking twice. And that's exactly why this conversation matters, because the difference between staying financially stuck and building real wealth often comes down to what people repeatedly do with small amounts of money. Not once, but every single day. Imagine two people. The first person spends $20 every day on temporary pleasures, food deliveries, impulse purchases, things they barely remember a week later. The second person invests that same $20 every single day. At first, there appears to be almost no difference between them. Neither looks wealthy, neither becomes rich overnight. But over time, the gap between their futures becomes enormous because money compounds, but habits compound even faster. This is what most people fail to understand about wealth. Wealth is rarely built through dramatic moments. It's usually built quietly, slowly, through small decisions repeated consistently over long periods of time. And investing $20 a day may sound small, but consistency transforms small actions into powerful outcomes. Now, obviously, $20 alone won't instantly change your life, and that's why most people underestimate it. Human beings naturally focus on immediate results. We want fast progress, quick rewards, visible success. But investing rewards patience, not urgency. The stock market doesn't care about excitement. It rewards consistency. And consistency is something most people struggle to maintain. Let's break this down differently. $20 a day equals about $600 a month. That's money many people already spend without tracking carefully. Subscriptions, takeout, convenience spending, impulse shopping, small leaks that don't seem dangerous individually, but quietly drain thousands of dollars every year. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't have an income problem. They have an allocation problem. Money is already flowing through their lives. The question is whether it's building their future or funding temporary distractions. Now, imagine that same $20 being invested consistently for years, not traded emotionally, not chased through risky trends, just steadily invested into long-term assets. Over time, something incredible begins happening. Your money starts working for you, and eventually, the growth generated by your investments can become larger than the money you're personally contributing. That's the moment many people finally understand compounding, because compounding feels slow until suddenly it doesn't. This is why starting early matters so much. Someone who invests smaller amounts consistently for decades often ends up ahead of someone who starts later with larger amounts, not because they're smarter, but because they gave time a chance to work. Time is the hidden force behind nearly every large fortune, and unfortunately, most people waste it waiting until they earn more, waiting until life feels stable, waiting until the perfect moment arrives. But the perfect moment rarely exists, and every year delayed reduces the power of compounding. But perhaps the biggest benefit of investing $20 a day isn't financial. It's psychological. Because when you consistently invest, you begin thinking differently. You stop viewing money only as something to spend and start viewing it as something that can grow. That shift changes behavior. You become more intentional, more patient, more future-focused. And over time, those mental shifts often matter more than the actual amount invested. Look around at modern society. People are constantly encouraged to consume, buy more, upgrade more, spend more. Everything is designed to capture attention and trigger impulse decisions. Very few systems encourage long-term thinking, which is why investing itself becomes powerful. Because every investment is a vote for your future instead of your impulses. And people who consistently prioritize the future often build lives with more freedom later on. Now, to be clear, investing $20 a day doesn't guarantee instant wealth. There will still be market crashes, periods of uncertainty, moments where progress feels invisible. But long-term investing was never about getting rich quickly. It's about gradually increasing ownership. Ownership of businesses, ownership of assets, ownership of your future. And ownership creates freedom. This is something many wealthy people understand deeply. They don't just work for money, they build systems where money works independently of their time. Because eventually, true financial freedom isn't about luxury, it's about control. Control over your schedule, your choices, your opportunities. And consistent investing is one of the ways people slowly buy back that control. So, what happens if you invest $20 every day? Financially, potentially far more than most people expect. But more importantly, you develop the habits that wealth requires: discipline, patience, long-term thinking, consistency. Because wealth is rarely built through one massive decision. It's built through small decisions repeated over and over again. And while most people spend $20 trying to impress others today, a few people quietly invest it to create freedom tomorrow. The amounts may seem small in the beginning, but over time, small actions have a way of becoming life-changing outcomes.